Hello everyone and welcome back to my model railway. It's been a little while since my last video, but I'm excited to show you all the progress that has been made since part 2. Over the past few months I've been focusing on some big steps forward, including ballasting the track, experimenting with static grass, and adding the first layers of scenery to the model railway layout. If you haven't already watched part 1 or part 2, I recommend going back and checking those out first, as it will give you a good idea of how far the layout has come since the beginning of the series. In the last part we covered the construction of the incline, setting up the platforms, and painting the track work, and this video is picking up right where we left off. So without further ado, let's jump straight in and see how things are shaping up. Picking up from where we concluded in the previous part, the next step was to pin down the track after it had all been painted. This stage was fairly straightforward. Luckily I had some track pins from the bundle of model railway items that came with the original layout boards that I bought second hand. These pins were unused and proved extremely handy, so using a small hammer I carefully fixed all of the track into place. Because of the foam boards, the pins were able to easily go through the track and straight into the boards. For the sections of track that rise on the incline mentioned in the previous part, I made use of some of the track underlay to fill any gaps in underneath the tracks, so this made it so whenever locomotives were going over they weren't pushing down on it or for a moment rising above nothing, so at least there was something giving support underneath. Before diving into ballasting the main layout, I decided to experiment first, so using an offcut of wood and some spare sections of track, I created a test piece to practice ballasting techniques. For the ballast, I chose Woodland Scenic's Grey Ballast Blend, which offers a wonderfully realistic colour in my opinion to the tracks. For adhesive, I initially tried Deluxe Materials Ballast Bonds, a liquid adhesive that promises easy application and a clear matte finish once it's dried. The process worked well on the test piece. I evenly spread the ballast using the ballast spreader, which was kindly lent to me by a member of my model railway club, and then by simply tapping the tops of the rail with a teaspoon, this allowed all the ballast to settle into the gaps. Once this had been all done and all the ballast was laid out, I soaked the ballast with a spray bottle containing water with a touch of washing up liquid. This helped the adhesive flow through the ballast and will allow the glue to set everything in place. While the process was effective, I quickly realised that the small bottle of Deluxe Material Ballast Bond wasn't practical for a full layout. It ran out after the test piece of 2 track pieces, which I couldn't believe. Since the adhesive isn't cheap, I decided to instead go with World War Scenic's ballast glue instead, which it comes in a much larger bottle and it's much more affordable. So if you're going to get a glue for ballasting, if you don't want to make your own mixture, I would highly recommend this product as it was extremely suitable. I started ballasting the layout with the siding at the front, which I use for getting locomotives onto the track. This area was a great place to practice before moving on to the rest of the layout. From there I worked section by section, ensuring that the tops of the rail were kept clean after the ballast had dried, so there was no glue drying on tops of the rails. The only areas that required extra care was the points. For these I skipped the ballast spreader and instead used the teaspoon that I mentioned earlier to apply small amounts of ballast. I was cautious to avoid areas where the blades are, and once the adhesive had dried, I tested the points to ensure that they were still operational. Thankfully, everything worked perfectly. After completing the ballasting, the next step was to add static grass to the layout. Using the same offcut of wood that I tested the ballast on, I decided to try a bit of scenery as well. To create a realistic transition between the ballast and the grass, I surrounded the edge of the track ballast with a dirt mixture. This adds a subtle thinning effect to the boundary between the ballast and the grass. First, I painted the outside of the test board with a brown acrylic paint, just as I had done on the layout itself. This ensured that any gaps showing through the grass or dirt would reveal an earthy tone instead of bare board.
I then applied Scenic's basing glue to the area I wanted to cover with the dirt, including a large patch where I planned to add a tree once this is all dried. Once this had dried, I then used a small vacuum to remove any of the excess. For the static grass, I chose the Plus Power Static Grass Applicator, a budget-friendly option which was recommended by that model railway guy in his tutorials. The tool creates a static charge, causing the grass fibres to stand upright when applied. It worked wonderfully, and it was simple, affordable and effective. For the test piece, I started with 2mm summer grass from Scenics to create the base layer. While it looked neat and vibrant, it was a bit too uniform at this stage. So after letting it dry, I vacuumed up any excess as I had done with the dirt, and then returned it to the bag for use. Next off, I added a second layer of 4mm spring glass, adhering to Scenics layering spray. This gave the grass more depth and a natural texture. To finish, I added several patches of 6mm patchy dead and autumn grass, which added variety and realism. These patches really brought the scene to life. I even experimented adding some patchy grass on the rails as well, which really looked fantastic. Finally, I added a small tree to the test piece to complete the look. This testing phase was invaluable for preparing me to work on the main layout, and it really gave me confidence and helped me to avoid making any future mistakes on the main layout. Moving back to the main layout, I began adding woodland scenic tree armatures, which I plan to decorate once the grass has all been completed. I secured them in place with Vallejo earth texture. At this stage, I also glued some flexible dry stone walling, which is available from that model railway guy's range. It's incredibly versatile and was very easy to shape along the incline hillsides, with just a touch of superglue underneath. From there, I started applying static grass to the layout in the same way that I had done on the test piece. The process was straightforward, and with the grass in place along with some bushes, the transformation was absolutely dramatic. The layout started to come alive with a realistic and lush appearance at this stage.
Now let's move on to the next big step, the station and the yard. Starting with the station, I covered the platforms with the same plaster that I had used for the road surfaces. I applied it evenly and glued the sections together, and the plaster really helped to seal everything together nicely. Next, I added some stone sides to the platforms using some moulded stone sheets from the Slater's Plasticard range. I painted them grey to match the overall aesthetic of the station and cut them to the right height to fit perfectly along the edges of the platforms. These stone sheets were glued securely in place. Once the stonework was done, I sanded down the surface of the platforms using some sandpaper just to smooth out any rough patches. While doing this, I accidentally created a few cracks in the plaster, but this actually worked out in my favour, to be honest. These cracks kind of came in handy when I later added a wash to the platform, as they really helped to show off natural imperfections which you would typically find on a platform that has come from heavy use. To finish off the edge of the platforms, I added Slater's Plasticard paving slabs. I glued them down, then added a thin white line along the edge to highlight the boundary. For a seamless finish, I also applied a little bit of leftover filler to the edge of the paving slabs to make the transition into the platform smoother. After this, I painted the platforms a nice grey colour and applied a wash of Citadel Nuln Oil. The wash accentuated the cracks and gave the platforms a worn and realistic look, which I absolutely love. I also added some GWR fences to the platform to complete the station area, along with some Pico buffer stops, which added a great finishing touch to the whole setup. Now let's quickly move on to the yard. Before adding any ground cover, I decided to make a start with some 3D printed depot point levers from West Hill Wagon Works. These are perfect for a depot or line side setup, and the great thing is they are purely scenic, but still allow me to adjust the points by hand. They didn't even require any glue to assemble, which is a nice bonus. After painting them, I added these levers to the layout. Next I started ballasting the track in the yard area. I used a black ballast for this section, which gave it that gritty industrial feel you'd expect from a railway yard. Once the ballast was in place, I added a cinder covering to the ground to further enhance the yard's messy and well-used look. This worked great and really brought that industrial railway feel to the layout. Once the ballast and the cinders were dry, I began adding some bushes and patches of grass to the yard. These smaller details really helped to differentiate the area from other sections on the layout, giving it a more natural and overgrown feel. I also used the same cinder mixture for the colliery area up on the hill, which ties the layout together nicely. To secure everything, I used the same Scenics ballast glue to lock everything in place. As I continued, I kept adding sections of grass and more bushes to build up the scenery. The layout is really starting to take shape now, with all the layers of detail beginning to come together. Now that we've got some significant progress on the layout, I think it's time for a quick running session. It's great to see everything in action and to see how far the layout has come in such a short amount of time when you think about it. To wrap up, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who's been following the progress of the layout over the past year. It's been an absolute pleasure to share these updates with you, and I'm really grateful for your support. Looking ahead, I'm planning to make these videos shorter and more frequent, so we don't have such a big gap between updates in future. I hope you've enjoyed watching the progress, and as always, thank you again for your continued support, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.